Well, that was a thing.
E3 was
A thing.
Okay, it's not
Yes.
E3 Mad Libs. I mean, yeah, it was. It came and went.
E3 Mad Libs actually would be fun. At the Blank conference, Blank announced the new installment in the Blank series. Developed by Blank, this Blank game is going to be very blank.
With a huge steaming pile of blank.
Okay then. Anyway,
Well, folks, yeah, here we are. I mean, if you're just joining us, we do this every year. We have a pre-3 discussion and we have a post-E3 discussion. So let's not waste any more time with the formalities. Welcome to the channel if you haven't been here before. We're going to go down the conferences in order with a lovely little TXT document courtesy of Clement, who's joining us here today. How you doing, buddy?
Aloha.
Oh, that's great. And we also got Catherine with us. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I have Discord
Awesome.
now.
Awesome. Okay, good. Discord Master Race in time, because Skype really hates my Audacity. What else is new? Anyway, so,
About to say, yeah.
do we have any... I mean, just to get... Just so people have an idea of what we thought this E3 as a whole, real quickly, before we start with EA. I mean, Ryan, you want to start with you?
Decent
Okay,
to
Ted,
pretty good.
what about you?
E3 was better than what I thought it was going to be, because if you watched our pre-3 discussion, which I love the pre-3 discussions because they're like the least relevant thing we ever do, like 48 hours after we finish them, it's great. But if you happen to watch that, you'll note that I was pretty pessimistic about E3, but I walked away mostly satisfied. EA and Ubisoft were terrible, but like, what else is fucking new? But the big three were all pretty good. Decent to pretty good. So, I'm overall pretty happy with how E3 went.
What about you, Catherine?
For me, it just kind of last year. I think at E3 was the point at which I was like, all right, I really need to get a PS4 soon, and this year was like, yeah, I'm gonna get a PS4 by this holiday season. Excuse me, this holiday season, because there's just enough good stuff that's coming out for it that I really want.
We're at a point now where this generation's consoles are beginning to hit their stride with consistently good, or a playable content, I guess I should say. So if now more than ever, if you haven't gotten a PS4 or an Xbox One, especially more sad on the Xbox One's case, in case you don't have a powerful PC.
Well, we'll get into that when
Yeah.
we get to Microsoft.
Exactly. But Ryan, did you actually have something to say before we head into EA?
No, did Jamie get a chance to go?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna go to him next because I... Jamie, did you have anything to say before we did?
At first I thought it was kind of just okay, like it was kind of losing me for a bit there, but when Sony happened, Sony was amazing, and then Zelda happened, and Zelda was amazing, and then I got details about Persona 5 and whatnot, and that's when the whole event picked up for me, but for the first half of it, I was kind of bored, honestly.
Speaking of boredom,
I actually had the reverse effect. I was actually pretty stoked in the first half, and then I kind of just teetered off in the second half. But yeah, we stalled long enough. Let's start with EA.
Well, I will say, at least EA had the decency to be short this year. They were only an hour. So, thank Christ for that.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you see one EA conference, you see them all. Honestly, it's
sports.
Were they the ones who did the Pele interview last year?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, just because they didn't waste 15 minutes of our time talking to Pele, it's automatically better than last year. But then again, that's also not saying much.
I don't know. I kind of missed Pele.
But then again, this year we had Jamie Foxx and Zac Efron.
That was the most random thing. They were there for like 2 minutes, and then they left.
You're excited to play the new Battlefield, right? The location. Yeah, sure.
Also, half of it was in London for some reason, like the conference.
Yes, that was amazing. I loved at the beginning. They were like, "We also have footage from London," and then they switched to London. They're just like, "Hi, yeah, this is London." Back
Those
to
motherfuckers slept through their alarms and they were late and they missed their plane. It's like, fuck it, let's get a stage here. Just gotta do it now. You gotta do it now.
Nobody cares, Peter Moore.
But
There, just, there's nothing here. I mean, there's 2 games, potentially, that I may give a shot, but everything else I was just completely, because I don't go out and say, oh, fuck this game, or fuck this game. I ain't playing that if my life depended on it. There's just indifference here and there, and I didn't feel that more. Oh, what were you going to say, Ryan?
I was just going to say, shall we just start from the top then?
Yeah, Titanfall 2.
It looks like Titanfall.
Yep, that's certainly Titan. That's certainly a bangy shooty game.
Here's the thing. Most trailers try to, at the very least, demonstrate what's different about the game in the series that it's going to be. Like, for example, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. We'll be talking about that trailer later. But they tried to show off all of the like space shit and floating in space and driving fighter planes and all that stuff. And so there's that. But honestly, I was looking at footage of Titanfall 2, and I could not tell what was different about it from footage I've seen of Titanfall 1 at all. I know that
this one has a 2 at the end of the title.
I mean, I know that the big thing is that there's a story mode, although that just kind of goes to show how big of a mistake it was to not have a story mode in the first Titanfall.
Can we start there, please?
Why is single-player mode a feature now?
Why is single-player mode a feature? I was watching most of the conference with my brother Mark, and he said things that, he's not as into as many genres that I can get into. He's a dedicated shooter guy, and he gave Titanfall a chance, and he liked it, but he immediately reverted back to Call of Duty and Battlefield because it didn't pull his attention. And he was pretty excited for Titanfall 2, if only because he wanted to see what they do for himself. And the first thing he said is like, single player is a feature now? And I was like, yeah, I guess so. I had a similar problem with Titanfall 1. I love the concept of the game, FPS with mechs, and that's all cool. But yeah, it was, unless you had a big boner for multiplayer, it's very little reason to just sit down and relax and enjoy yourself in a single-player campaign, which Titanfall 1 severely lacked. So it shouldn't be touted as a feature for the sequel, but rather just common sense. You just say, hey, single player's here, let's show you the improvements.
Here's my issue, is that I understand why they didn't put single player in to begin with, because I bring this up a lot, but my brothers, they've owned Black Ops, whatever the newest Black Ops is, for 8 months now, and they have not touched single player once, and that's a significant portion of the people who play these kinds of games. So I get not wasting money in a single player campaign that nobody's gonna play, but at the same time, Titanfall was also a game that the multiplayer kind of fell off a cliff within 2 months. So I don't know what they should do with the franchise. I guess I'm good at pointing out problems, not noticing them, not fixing them.
And I'll definitely share the sentiment, because like every Christmas I go over to my family's for dinner, and they always get the new Call of Duty, and they're always playing like the zombie mode, they're always playing the deathmatch mode, and then I ask like, what's a campaign like? They're like, I don't know. I'm like, Kevin Spacey's in it. You haven't played the Kevin Spacey stuff?
I watch House of Cards. All right.
Also, why did the mechs have like AI now? So like, what's the point of the pilot then?
It could be for utility purposes. The AI could be doing something while you're probably shooting from the backside of it. Maybe.
No, AI. That's not how computers work, John.
But also, why does
Oh,
it
I'm
try...
sorry, Ted. As a real-life studier of Titanfall mechs, please inform me of how Titanfall actually works.
Okay, it doesn't really even need it. Computers.
Shut up.
Yes.
Maybe they need the human pilot to get to a destination and fiddle with computers that the big robot would just smash because its arms are too big. I don't know.
And another question though. Why is it trying to sound way too hard like Optimus Prime?
Oh, okay. I'm glad I'm not the only one who noticed that.
See, if this were an anime, I would say it has to have pilots, because we always have to have whiny little children with emotional issues be the pilots.
Get the damn robots in.
Qatherine, this is a Western game, so instead we have bald white dudes with emotional issues be the pilots, okay?
Oh my god, this is Zone of the Enders 3.
Okay.
Now, can we talk about my favorite thing from EA, and that's FIFA Story Mode? 'Cause
Yes! That was the best part.
Which-
the epic story mode.
That was kind of like, what?
Can I just say that the one thing I'm disappointed in is that during that story mode trailer, at no point did I hear "prepare for Titanfall" and one just falls inside the field and just starts playing soccer, because that would have made that trailer interesting.
No, it was interesting
It
to
just looked like a
me.
bad movie.
It's a standard career mode, okay, with cutscenes.
It was
So,
the
like,
only,
okay.
like, the guy who was talking before they showed that was the only person who showed genuine enthusiasm that entire event. So,
Did he? Because he looked like he was getting ready for war more than a fucking football game.
Soccer is war.
it's still enthusiasm. Okay, I'll
Yeah,
take what I can get.
You're right, but it's like, oh, calm down, buddy. It's just a video game, right? It's a
his
simulation
life
of what you do in
story,
real life.
He's gonna become the best soccerer ever, okay?
Again, it should have been fucking Pacific Rim FIFA edition, and it didn't. I'm not buying it. Oh, I don't play FIFA in the first place, so I wasn't gonna buy it anyway.
It's a yearly sports release, okay, whatever.
I said to Ted, because his brothers play FIFA, I was like, Ted, your brothers should record story mode for BSC. And he's like, they're not going to touch that.
No, they won't. They won't. Whenever I see my brothers playing FIFA, about 40% of the time, they're playing actual soccer matches. But about 60% of the time, they're like fucking around with weird like cards, and all of the players have stats, and like they're trying to get the best squad, whatever the heck that means, and. So yeah, they are not going to touch story mode unless if it gets them like better cards for the multi. Like,
See,
I
Ted, this is
don't
why
even
we
know.
need them to record it for BSC so we understand how the cards work.
Yeah, but just because we understand doesn't mean we care.
That's true.
Well, I don't think any of us know how soccer really works. It's like, so the guy's kicking the ball. Yep, he's kicking the ball. Shoots it.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it! Yeah. Like just cut to a Simpsons reference, and that's part one.
What was it? Was it college humor? The Scott whatever.
I have no idea.
It was
what
the
that is.
I don't know what that is.
There's a short where this guy, as a goalie, just keeps getting hit in the face with the ball. So much so that he's like delirious that they literally just put him in a chair in front of the goal and it still hits him.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe we just cut to that. I don't know.
I just hope Pele's in one of the cutscenes.
Yeah, Rock will feature a season pass as a 15-minute
What?
Pele interview
Okay.
that just cuts to E3 2015.
Here's something I'm genuinely curious about, though. Why was it a big deal that they added managers into the game? Like, why do people care? Like, if I'm playing Madden, I don't care if Bill Belichick is on the sidelines or not. I care about, like, making plays and scoring the touchdowns and whatever the hell else you do in real football. Yeah, I said real football. Shut up, England. Nobody
FIFA
cares.
is, I think, one of the highest, if not the highest, sports games in
Yes.
the world.
Yes.
So there are people that really, really care about that sort of thing. And remember, we lived in a time where I don't think they make them anymore, but there were games dedicated to like NCAA like manager something 2K15
Or like
or something like
or like
that.
an NFL manager or something.
Yeah, so I guess there's an audience for that, but I think there's actual bank in it for FIFA because a lot of people play FIFA. Maybe not so much in the United States, but definitely in Europe. And
I think the U.S. base is growing. Soccer in the U.S. is definitely becoming more of a thing.
Yeah, I was
Perhaps.
talking with my lab mates. So I have 3 lab mates who are from various countries in Europe, and they're all talking about football because the EuroLeague, I forget what it's called, but basically a big European soccer tournament.
Yeah, there's
Is
that,
going
and also the Copa America, I think, is what it's called. It's going on at the moment as well.
Okay. And we were talking about, and they said that they definitely think that soccer/football is getting more attention in the U.S. So I guess that's good. I don't know.
well, this FIFA
Yeah.
tangent is, I think, the longest I've ever discussed FIFA in
Yeah, I
anything
know,
in the
right?
history of my life.
Oh yeah, and they talked about Madden for a few seconds. Whatever.
Yeah, nobody. I
Yeah.
loved how nobody gave a shit about the Madden stuff. Like the applause was
just
the most
say-
polite applause. Like, okay, yeah, Madden.
The applause at EA in particular was just like, did they have 5 people in the room?
Well, because I think even they know at this point that no one gives a shit about them.
Yeah, I don't think their buyer base is growing nearly as much. Like, it's just they've got their core people who buy the games routinely.
Everyone who buys Madden already buys Madden.
That or everybody is too busy looking at their cell phones and laptops, because that was something I noticed a lot of while watching these press conferences. And you know, for some of them might have a decent reason because they're journalists and they have to keep notes and do all that. But every time, I swear, at EA, they cut to the audience, there's always like half of them looking at their phone and laptop, not bothering to applaud.
That looks bad.
I was going to say, but to be fair, though, it's EA, so you get the same thing every year.
Yeah, I guess so. But anyway, what about the next game, Mass Effect Andromeda?
That trailer frustrated me because that was the first trailer that I could tell was a game that the
one game where EA actually tries.
Like, not just that, but it was the game where, for lack of a better word, hardcore gamers were going to care about, and that trailer honestly sucked. Like, they didn't show anything of substance, and I'm not a huge fan of Mass Effect, but I felt bad for fans of Mass Effect because that trailer didn't show anything. It was just a lot of people sitting at their desks, you know. I think they had, like, one scene of one of the alien races, I think, with a smug face.
That was, like, Maya. That was, like, how to use Maya or whatever, like, 3D modeling program they were using. It was just, like... there were, like, at least a couple trailers, quote-unquote, that were just, look at this, like, happy young person.
We'll get to Star Wars.
Oh, Star Wars is the worst with that, I will say.
We'll get to Star Wars.
But Mass Effect Andromeda, they did that as well, right?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah. They showed very little. They didn't show any gameplay. Actually, it was all cinematic stuff.
I mean, they showed some interesting tidbits, like they're going to be bringing back vehicles, like they did in Mass Effect 1. So it looks like you're going to be exploring planets and looking for materials, like in person this time, like it was in Mass Effect 1, because they sort of simplified that for 2 and 3. But yeah, they didn't really show too much. They kind of gave the idea that the story's about humans finding this new galaxy and trying to find, you know, different civilizations, different planets. They're discovering stuff. But, like, they don't introduce any of the new squad mates. I mean, we saw, like, a glimpse of an Asari character who looked pretty interesting. But, like, they didn't really give us any squad mates. They didn't give us any big, crazy moments. It was just sort of like, we've known about this game for 2 years. The last trailer from last year was, you know...
Cowboy music
and a guy with a cowboy hat. And it's
cowboy hat.
And it's like, I was hoping for so much more. I wanted, like, a little bit extra. I wanted to know what was different about Mass Effect going from PS3 to PS4. And
the game's due to come out next year, too, isn't it? So it's about the time where they should be showing shit.
And they just sort of brushed by it. It was just like, Andromeda's happening. We'll get to it. And I was like, oh, this is the one game I wanted to see.
That's disappointing, yeah.
You fucking slaves.
Yeah. So, they also, Fee, that was the artsy indie game that they had.
Yeah.
Artsy silhouette platformer number 76.
I think someone said on Twitter that it's like now going to be EA tradition to drag out some very nervous, like, sweet indie dev every year.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for that guy because you know that he had to, like, sign away his soul in order to get his game published. And I will say...
Yeah, it's like we want all the profits to go to the indie developers. Like, so what did you ask in return?
Yeah, but it's the game at the very least. It's a 3D platformer instead of a 2D platformer. So already, like, you know, most of the artsy kind of stuff in this sort of subgenre of indie games tend to be 2D platformers instead of 3D platformers. So that's already interesting. But it did.
God damn it, Braid.
I think adding a dimension doesn't really help this game's case. And nothing against the guy, but I felt like I've seen this game so many times before.
Yeah, the game just didn't look interesting at all. It's kind of like, okay, so this thing's flying. Okay.
Got a lot of Journey vibes.
Yeah.
Watching it too. The way the creature can, you know, like shout with like a sound wave and activate things. And again, I feel the art style, specifically in the indie scene, I should stress, has been done to death. And just because it's 3D, I don't think it gives an excuse. It could be more ambitious, granted, but I don't think it's going to help this game's case.
It doesn't stand out. That's a problem.
Yeah.
I think for me, it just more seemed to have a really, like, kind of sweet atmosphere. Now, one thing I noticed was that kind of, like, muted, like, lilac and blue color scheme. If the entire game's like that, I would get really bored. But if it's a fun experience, like, yeah, I'll give it a try if I can get it like for cheap on Steam.
I feel like it's gonna end up being one of those games that people aren't going to play until it goes to like $5 or less on Steam sales, though.
Yeah.
Which
yeah,
is
unfortunately.
Unfortunate, yeah.
Wait for the humble bundle.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after that was Star Wars. What Star Wars game? Star Wars.
We're totally making Star Wars, guys. Which Star Wars game? Star Wars.
It's happening.
Don't you love Star Wars?
I like Star Wars. You like
Don't
Star
you
Wars.
like Star Wars, audience?
Let's like Star Wars together.
Because we're making Star Wars.
That was so stupid.
Which Star Wars?
Did they just have like 5 minutes of their conference that they just couldn't fill, and then just decided to play the Star Wars theme for some reason? Ugh, God.
Yeah, they didn't show much. They just said, "Hey, we're working
They
on
didn't show
Battlefront
anything.
stuff.
They just said
We're working on a new Star Wars game, and we're not going to tell you what it is or what it's about. It's here's the back of this dude's head coming out of a cantina. Okay, well, that's it. The end."
Goodbye.
I just have nothing to say about that. It was just stupid.
Yeah, because they really only highlighted games that were already out. Battlefront, a mobile game, I think that's what one of them were.
The Old Republic.
And the Old Republic. And, okay, I mean, if you haven't played those games, I guess, go play them. But in terms of demonstrating anything new, no, very lackluster. They just show behind the scenes of development offices, and yeah, I get it. I mean, I know the blood, sweat, and tears that go into these things, but, unfortunately, people don't care about that sort of thing.
Nobody cares.
I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. People don't really care about that sort of thing. That's an extra in a DVD, behind the scenes sort of thing. And you gave it E3 press conference time, but okay.
Yep.
Okay, so since Battlefield 1 showed the same trailer twice in a row, does that mean that for this?
I love that trailer.
Does that mean for this conference we should do our thoughts twice in a row? Like just talk about Battlefield twice for no good reason?
No, we have to do it. We have to do it 3 times because they showed it again in Microsoft.
Yeah. They showed the same CG part of the trailer twice in a row. Why?
Yeah. Because they really want you to buy it.
That goddamn pigeon. Like
that pigeon is the cause of so much destruction. Like seriously, it's like I think part of it was because it's really weird. My brother Mark and I we have this strange synergy when we're watching shows together, and we're seeing all this destruction, and it was like, this is all because that pigeon was inside that tank, right? And I was like, I was just thinking that, man.
Is that guy shooting at the pigeon?
Oh, look at all the chaos that's happening outside, all because that pigeon got inside that tank, and they don't know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Hey, at least it's World War One. They don't do that too often.
The pigeon calls World War
No.
The interesting thing about Battlefield 1, though, is that it's easily one of the biggest games from the conference. Like, I think it's Zelda, God of War, and Battlefield 1 that have the most attention. Like, Battlefield 1 is outscoping Call of Duty at the moment, which is interesting to me. But at the same time, I'm not sure how great it will be to play, because if you know anything about World War I battles, they mostly involve people sitting in trenches for a long time, getting killed with mustard gas, or dying of exposure. So that sounds like a great fast-paced multiplayer.
I'm sure
game.
they'll take a lot of liberties.
Liberties, as in liberty for the people of Europe, because of the war. Yeah.
And with that said, I hope you look forward to the giant Statue of Liberty Titanfall mech coming this summer on
piloted by the Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Shoot down the Zeppelin. Oh, the humanity.
It is a beautiful looking game, though. There's a lot of horsepower going into that thing.
Oh, because they ride on horses in the game?
For fuck's sake, shut up.
Did anyone else hear about the whole why aren't there women soldiers quote unquote debate? It's like it's World War I, guys.
I do believe. Well, actually, that was. I'm misremembering it. Wasn't it? There could be women soldiers in the campaign, but not in the multiplayer. I think is what it was. Where honestly, it would make more sense if they swapped it, because historically, yes, most women on the whole did not fight an awful lot in World War I or World War II for that matter. But if you're in the multiplayer, nobody cares. Just let people be whatever gender they want. So I mean, I have to look that up again. But just to find the specifics, hold on. I'll do a quick Google search. Search now.
God, this stupidity.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's yeah. Yeah, female soldiers won't be in the multiplayer. And yeah, that's kind of dumb.
But, people love the old Battlefield games. If you have the ability to drive in a whole bunch of different vehicles, like horseback and like cars and tanks and stuff, then it's probably going to be a really satisfying game. I just don't know if, like, because games are more expensive to make, how big in scope this thing actually is going to be. Like, how many maps are there going to be? Because that was a big complaint about Star Wars Battlefront, was there wasn't enough content for a lot of people felt, and
you mean how there was basically no content?
Pretty much. So let's hope Battlefield 1's a little bit bigger than that. Let's hope it's got a lot going on, because you don't want people to get bored of it, but...
Did anyone watch any of the multiplayer streaming right after?
No.
No.
Why?
No.
Did anyone else see... Well, did you see any pictures of Snoop Dogg
I saw
playing
Snoop
Battlefield 1
Dogg.
with a blatant blunt right in his mouth?
Jeez.
It's like he wasn't even trying to hide it, it was just there.
No. He's well. I mean, E3's in California, so it's all legal there. So
Don't you need
Yeah,
he can get a card if he wants to. He's fucking Snoop Dogg.
don't you need a joint license?
Mr. Snoop, could you put that out, please?
Nah, man. Okay.
That's my game, man.
Was he inside?
No, it was like in a tent outside or
Okay,
something.
because I was like, that's actually probably a fire hazard.
He'll put out the joint for a third Def Jam game, and I was like, oh, okay, fine. I want another Def Jam game.
That's basically all EA had. Like, I think there might be a few other things that we might be missing, but
No, I think we covered all the bases.
To quote Sakurai, why did you even show up?
yeah. I mean, I know we're going to talk about Ubisoft later, but I will say I think EA was less bad than Ubisoft, because Ubisoft went on for like 2 goddamn hours, and EA had the courtesy to only be an hour long. So that's just my reasoning behind that.
Well, we'll get there in time. Anyway, Bethesda, the next, which I really should have started with this. It was really weird how, unless I'm missing something here, E3 started on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Instead
It
of
did.
a Monday.
Yeah.
They called
I
it day
was
minus
shocked about
one.
that.
All the press stuff called it day minus one, and then Monday was day 0. And it's like,
Huh?
I swear I saw it. I saw schedules like that. I believe it was on the Twitch page. That was how they wrote the schedule.
Derek listed day 1 as like the Tuesday as well. And I
Tuesday,
was like,
yep.
huh?
Yeah, it's
I don't
It started
understand.
on Sunday.
The Tuesday is when they actually let attendees in.
Oh, I guess in
Oh,
that
okay.
case, that's just confusing as shit.
yeah,
It really is
Yeah.
weird.
It's unnecessary.
The thing is, everyone keeps trying to undercut each other for attention.
Which is why we got
Well,
like 5
yeah.
announcements last week as well. Ugh.
Yeah.
I actually didn't stay up to watch Bethesda because it was really late. It was like midnight.
It was late Eastern Standard Time, which
Yeah.
is where I am.
I had to watch this the next day because I too fell asleep when I popped it in the morning So.
Oh, I didn't watch it at all. So.
Well, I mean, I
Okay, bye, Ted.
I don't play. I don't really play a lot of what Bethesda has to offer. I've been meaning to play Doom for a while now because I've been hearing nothing but good things. I'm not an Elder Scrolls guy, but I did hear of probably the biggest bombshell of that conference was Quake, and God, I know a lot of people that play Quake.
I was going to say, I haven't seen Quake around since like the late 90s.
Well, especially a few buddies of mine in college couldn't shut up about the damn game. It was that in Diablo. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that and Diablo were kind of synonymous with each other at the time.
What made Quake special, I guess, is the back in the day, I guess.
It was a very fast game.
Okay.
Like, people
Very
ran
fast.
super fast. You had, like, the ultra kill, holy shit, I think.
And I think rocket jumps. You can do rocket
Yeah.
jumps.
Oh, so that's
But,
not just a Counter-Strike thing now. Okay.
No. Quake also did that too, and I think a lot of people really liked how easy it was to mod Quake, because Quake mods I think they have a whole website dedicated to that sort of shit. But I say that because I'm obviously I don't play Quake, I never have. But I understand a lot of people were pretty excited about that, so good on them for bringing out Quake. I had a feeling that they probably do something of the sort after Doom, And after the positive reception of Doom, they figured, you know what? Let's do it again.
Did you
with another
guys
franchise.
Did you guys hear about the tease they made for Wolfenstein? Because they had this list of games that they had made, and like the Quake was on it, and they said like they had an extra Wolfenstein in the Wolfenstein bunch. It was something weird, but apparently they teased that they're also making a new Wolfenstein as well. So.
I'd imagine that wouldn't have as much of an impact because a Wolfenstein game just came out a couple of years ago, I think.
Yeah, it didn't do great either. But, I mean,
Yeah.
I guess they're going to try again because Wolfenstein and Doom kind of go hand in hand. And if Doom's doing good, then maybe they'll think that Wolfenstein might have another chance. I don't know.
Yeah, perhaps. Or they'll make a second Doom and just cut their losses.
They already made a Doom 2, John.
They make another Doom 2.
Oh. Okay, then.
Doom 64?
Doom. No, we haven't even made the other 63 yet.
Yeah. So yeah, that's yeah, I don't think any of us really play a lot of the games that Bethesda...
I was more into like GoldenEye and you know, like I don't play too many first person shooters, but when I did, it was always like GoldenEye, Perfect Dark. I did play a lot of like Medal of Honor on the PlayStation with some of my friends, and I could never get into Quake. It was always just the brown game for me. Everything was brown.
Clement,
Two for it later.
Clement, you play Elder Scrolls, right?
Yeah, I've played Oblivion and Skyrim. I haven't played any of the first three.
Yeah. I remember back when you had vlogs up that you did vlogs on. You did a vlog on Skyrim. I meant to watch this conference afterwards, and then I didn't get around to it. So they announced a remaster of Skyrim, and
yeah, and I think that was the worst tease too, because like it starts off and you're like, we got another announcement, and then you hear like the chorus and the bumping dum da da dum da da dum 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 dum, and it's like, oh my god, are they making a new Elder Scrolls game? Like it just like Fallout 4, like a whole new Elder Scrolls, and then it's just like
Dragonborn. Dun, dun,
it's
dun.
like, Skyrim again. This time we've updated the graphics.
It's been about the same amount of time between Skyrim and now as it was between Skyrim and Oblivion. So I think it does feel like there should be a new game, but at the same time, Skyrim itself is still massively popular. Like, people still play that game all the time, because apparently there's still shit to do in it. So, like,
They have gone out of their way and said in interviews after that announcement that an Elder Scrolls game for today's technology would take a long fucking time to make.
Yeah, well, no shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it'll probably be a while before we see a new Elder Scrolls game, but, you know, I guess my wondering is if they're going to add anything to the game to make it worth buying for people who already played Skyrim, or is it just going to literally be Skyrim on the PS4 and Xbox One?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was the latter.
Yeah. Oh, well, that would
I'm
be...
sure it's got all the DLC packs and stuff.
But they already did a version like that for the PS3, so... Yeah, I agree. I agree with Ted. It's like, if you're gonna play Skyrim anyways, or if you already have played Skyrim on the PS3, like, I don't know if I feel like there's a lot of reasons someone would play it again or switch to the PS4.
Especially since Skyrim tends to be a very PC heavy fan base, because they love their mods where everybody can have anime waifu heads and things like that. So
Thomas the Tank Engine comes out of nowhere.
So,
any of you guys cared about the Fallout DLC and the VR? One of many times I'm pretty sure we'll talk about VR.
Yeah, VR.
Does the DLC include more settlements I can help?
You get to build your own vault.
Then I'm not interested. I'm only interested in helping settlements.
Wasn't that already a mobile game?
No, that's Fallout Shelter.
Oh, okay.
Now in Fallout 4, you get to build your own vault and test the citizens inside of it. I don't know what that entails. I don't know what kind of testing we're going to be doing, but...
you become Aperture Science.
Oh, no.
Okay, let's try removing the puppy.
But, yeah, if you love Fallout 4, there's a new amusement park DLC. There's building your own vaults and stuff. Just more Fallout. I don't really have anything to add. Fallout 4, if you like it, you like it. But I think it's fun,
Same here.
The VR does nothing for me, personally. I it just VR to me seems completely extraneous to me. Like in general for everything. That's going to be my overall opinion of VR. So the fact that Fallout 4 has a VR thing does not interest me in the slightest, personally. So, I'm sure we'll save the more interesting VR talk for later because there were a lot of different VR announcements. So, we'll get to that when we get to that.
Is there really anything else to talk about with Bethesda, really?
Prey? What was that?
Prey, it's a successor to a series that started on the Xbox 360, also called Prey. So they're just calling it Prey again. But the trailer was interesting because like it had like this weird Groundhog Day effect where the guy kept getting woken up by like, "Hello James, it's Monday. Hello James, it's Monday. Hello James," and like he keeps looking in the mirror and his eye keeps getting more bloodshot as every time he looks into it, and then it turns into this thing where like he's shooting at like shadow creatures and stuff. So it looks to be another first-person shooter, which Bethesda excels at, but we didn't get much other than that CG trailer, so I don't know what to make of it yet. But fans of Prey felt a little bit betrayed because it wasn't the Prey 2 that they were promised, because Prey 2 was canceled. And they were hoping that if Prey 2 did come back, it was going to be exactly like the stuff they saw. But now it's been changed. Now it's about this guy looking into a mirror with bloodshot eyes and fighting shadowy monsters. And it's like, well, that's not the Prey 2 I wanted. What happened to Prey 2, damn it? So, I don't know. I'm not a Prey fan. I've never played the first one. I got nothing.
How they would cancel the second game and then just, like, from the sound of it, reboot it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I speak as someone who's never played a Prey game, so I don't know what to make of the trailer.
Yeah, and then there was also Dishonored 2, which apparently people say is pretty good. I haven't really looked into it too much myself, so...
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
It's a good successor to, like, the Thief series, where it's part stealth game, but it's also not... Like, you can play it however you want. Like, you can do it stealthy, but, like, you have so many different powers at your disposal to take out guards and stuff that, like, you could totally do a complete kill run and just murder every single guard along your way. But these things will affect your endings and stuff, so you gotta choose carefully, I guess. But, Dishonored 2 has a new protagonist, so new powers. And they got a lot of cool powers, too. I like the fact that there's this domino spell where you hit a person with domino, and then you hit other people with domino, and then they get connected by, like, this yellow tether. Like, this transparent yellow tether that they don't actually feel. And then if you kill one guy, the tether connects to the other people and kills them, too, which I think is really interesting.
That actually would be neat. Like, you set up a whole bunch of dominoes, then you do a stealth kill on one guy, basically. And then you're good to just loot whatever's... That's interesting.
Yeah. I like the first one. The second one's looking pretty good. And, yeah, it looks fun.
Okay, so that's basically all we have written down for Bethesda, which leads us to Xbox, the Microsoft conference, which, this is one that I know all of us watched, so...
Yeah.
Personally, I liked this. I thought it was a very good conference overall. Much better than what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can generally agree there. I'm not the biggest Xbox person, but I can agree that it was a generally solid performance on their part.
I was thoroughly impressed the entire one with how consistent they managed to stay.
Well, shall we start with Cogs of Conflict 4?
With its random censoring at the very end.
Oh, yes! That was amazing.
At first I thought my stream stuttered for a bit, but then I realized, nope, that was so what the hell could she...
How dare you censor swear words in our M-rated game with flying guts everywhere?
Is that what happened? Was that a...
Yeah, they censored like some curse words at the end.
Was it? I thought it was just sound difficulties.
No,
it was she... I don't know what she said, but it must have been pretty goddamn bad if they had to cut it out for the E3 conference.
No, I didn't take it as censoring. I just thought they had a sound snafu.
No, it was definitely because she said like, and you tell those blank 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 that we're coming for you or something like that. So it was definitely them cutting out something. But as for what, I have no idea.
It's Gears of War again.
Yeah, I was going to say it. Yeah, that looks like Gears of War, all right.
Yeah, basically.
I was surprised that I saw some actual green and some grass there.
Don't get me wrong, I think the Gears of War series is a fun series. I think duck and cover, and I like the reload mechanic that happens in those games where, like, you push R1, and you can wait for it to just fill the whole bar, and eventually your gun will get reloaded. But if you time it just right, if you hit it during the white marker, you'll reload faster, and if you screw up the timing, then you'll reload longer. So they actually make a little mini game out of it, sort
It's
of.
like your gun jams, and I believe that's what happens. I haven't played Gears of War since the first one, and I wasn't very interested by it because I thought I played this sort of game before, cover mechanics and all that sort of thing, and I didn't really enjoy the graphics because, again...
Well, look at all those convenient chest-high barriers.
Oh, yeah, I loved the conveniently chest-high alien bodies in the middle of the level. That was great.
That said, I mean, the game looks harmless. It looks perfectly functional.
It looks like Gears of War. Okay.
I get why people who like the game would be excited for it. So, and honestly, like, here's the thing. Going into Microsoft, and Sony for that matter, I know that these aren't the kind of games that, personally, I'm going to want to play so much. Like, they're mostly not in my genre. So instead, I was trying to look at...
You refuse to play any console outside Nintendo.
No, I actually did try to play Rayman Origins on my PS3 about like 2 weeks ago, and then the disc fucked up for some reason, so I swapped to playing Rayman Origins on Steam. So yeah,
PS3 was actually wait, you're actually booting me up?
Yeah. So anyway, I was trying to view most of these conferences in the light of, would the person who this game is targeted for find this interesting? And for the most part, I think Gears of War looks good for people who likes Gears of War. Although I'm not an expert in these sort of things, so, you know, maybe I'm wrong, but I didn't see anything wrong with it. So, yeah.
No, just more of the same.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
There was also that Killer Instinct announcement where they announced the new character and people were really excited because apparently not Gears of War. Apparently Killer Instinct is really good. And so they announced the character who's like the final boss from the first Gears or something. And I loved my Twitter timeline at that point because nobody knew who this character was supposed to be. And it was hilarious.
I just remember when they said, we're going back to Killer Instinct, the most played fighting game on the Xbox, and they just wanted to put like a little asterisk on the bottom of this because because we don't have Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Well, let's be fair. Killer Instinct probably would be played more than Street Fighter V anyway.
Well, also Killer Instinct wasn't Killer Instinct that game that was free to play, but you only get one character. So of course they're going to get a lot of people playing it until they realize that they have to buy other characters, and then they say, "F that ass, I'm out of here."
Yeah, but they don't care about that. They just look at the day one buyers and day one downloaders.
Oh, that's all that matters. That's exactly why they
downloaded this. Yeah, but it's only day one. Look how many people downloaded that game. You're not listening to me, are you?
Yeah.
We added all these guest characters like Rash from Battletoads, who haven't had a game since I was like 3.
Yeah, that character's very relevant in the modern day.
3 seasons. It's all fan service at this point. It's 3 seasons in, because that's what they call it. They categorize it by seasons in terms of like character introductions and all that. And I recall us, mocking Killer Instinct like year one when it came out on Xbox One, and nowadays it doesn't really apply because it's pretty much a full-fledged fighter at this point, and I hear it's damn good. I haven't played it myself. I was a pretty big Killer Instinct fan of the original one anyway, when I'm not getting my ass kicked by everyone else around me. But I still enjoy it mechanically as a fighter, and I want to play the Xbox One game, so maybe it's final time I do that.
Yeah, it's just the character itself was very underwhelming because I'm pretty sure the majority of people were like, "Who is this guy?
Who?
General Scales? What?
General Scales!"
Also, Killer Instinct is a very fast-paced combo game, like where you keep going, and I'm thinking of like slow lumbering General Ram from the first Gears of War. Like, why him? Like, I can't imagine that big guy doing like tons of combos.
Well. The only game that after that that I was the complete opposite of my brother. It was Forza.
Yay! Look at how shiny our cars are this time.
Those kangaroos.
Oh, I was just about to bring up the kangaroos. I was really disappointed when they weren't the focus of the game.
I was like, those kangaroos look dude. I don't care about the cars. The environments look amazing, and those kangaroos.
Admittedly, when I saw the kangaroos in the trailer and I saw the cars, my immediate thought wasn't Forza. My brother caught on really quick, but I was like, "Oh, we're getting a Cruis'n USA remake."
What?
Oh, I would like
With
that.
kangaroos.
Yeah,
Cruising.
Oh, Catherine, you don't know, do you?
Cruising the world.
Yeah, the final race in Cruise in the World is the moon, which is not which is not on the world, for the record. So this game lies.
But alas, it's Forza. Is it like essentially Microsoft's answer to Gran Turismo?
Yeah, basically.
Yep.
Yeah. They're Call of Duty and Battlefield, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my brother's looking forward, so he loves Forza and Gran Turismo. I don't really have any interest in it. I love arcade racing games, not simulated racing games.
The one thing that I did take away, especially from Forza, is that they were really trying to push how the Xbox One can crossplay with the Windows 10 now.
That was kind of a theme throughout the conference, yeah.
Which they made a big deal about how you can cross-play with all the Windows 10, and you can download your saves onto the Windows 10 version and play it on the go and stuff. And that just kind of made me wonder, then why buy an Xbox One? Just spend that $400 and use it to help upgrade your PC.
That thought did cross my mind as well.
That is a good point, but for people who do have an Xbox One, essentially getting a free copy on your PC is a really nice bonus. Like a really nice bonus. So
No, I get that, but it's just one of those. You're not really enticing me to get an Xbox One. You're just, it's just rather than spend $300 on a new Xbox One, I'd rather just put that into my next PC.
It could be especially sexy for those that have gaming laptops, where they can take those free copies of the game on the go. Because you're not dragging an Xbox One everywhere.
Oh, no.
That should be that guy from the Sega Game Gear commercial. I'm sorry, that was too obscure. I apologize.
You should, John.
I thought of a similar thing where I was like, wow, this is like might as well just be the Windows 10 conference. But hey, I mean, it is the an evolution.
Games are games.
Yeah, it's an evolution of what's happening to the gaming industry, so it makes sense to start now.
Yeah, I loved that voice at the beginning. An Xbox One and Windows 10 exclusive.
Exclusive to Xbox One and Windows 10.
So one of my favorite images that popped up from that, because of all the Windows 10 buzz, was a picture from last year's conference with Phil, and like
it has the Windows 10 update
behind it, like the Windows 10 upgrade window.
Was that that was an accident, right?
No, that was
a Photoshop.
Yeah, it was a Photoshop.
Okay.
I know that we're not going to get Nintendo till the end, just because they always go last. But I loved the picture of the little tablet that Link has in that game with your upgrade to Windows 10 is ready picture. Oh man. But yeah, Forza looks good for people who like Forza. Again, I get why people who like those kind of games would be excited, because it does look, graphically, the game does look amazing. And and visual porn is part of why you play a game like Forza. Like, if you like cars, then you play that kind of game to oogle, like, look at all the engine and
Yep, that's a car, all right.
horsepower.
It's a car you'll never own in real life.
Transmission, I think. I don't know.
Does it go?
Ryan, your car is actually pretty nice, so
But does it run?
No, your car drives. If you were running, why would you even need a car?
Anyway, ReCore.
Inafune, I'm sorry, but
you know what? I'm not letting that ruin my anticipation for this.
Oh no, it is for me, because the game would look cool.
Yeah, Mighty Number 9 that's a whole other fucking can of worms, and I agree. Like, I understand the stigma, but it's just not Inafune doing this sort of thing. It's Metroid Prime developers, or former Metroid Prime developers, are also doing this, and I just like to think that Inafune's input on this only amounts to this and that, and not so much the entire fucking show. I understand the stigma, but I'm still rather much looking forward to this game, because it just looks interesting to me. I like the trailer from last year, and we finally got in-game footage with this conference, and I'm pretty sold on it. I'm going to give it a shot.
I thought it looked great.
Yeah.
I really liked. I didn't expect it to be like a platformer where like you would actually be jumping on platforms in like a 3D space, and you kind of have like a Mega Man X dash as well. Like you'll be running and then you just like go forward a little bit. And, you know, some of the robots that she was fighting, like the weird mechanical worm that was chasing her through the sand and stuff, I thought that was, like, really interesting. I thought ReCore looked like a lot of fun.
Honestly, I know it's gonna sound stereotypical, but I can't get over Inafune's involvement. Like, no wonder Mighty Number 9 took for however the fuck long it took, since Inafune is working on, like, 10 different games at the moment.
Can you believe it comes out Tuesday?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, it's said to come out Tuesday. I just don't know if there's going to be a delay from here till then.
Oh, Christ.
June 20th, 11:58. Sorry.
No, the game comes out, people are have their copies from store pickup, and then it just disappears out of their hand because there's another delay.
Ted, what's Inafune's role in ReCore?
I think
We don't really know.
See, because that's the thing. Like, wasn't Inafune technically involved in some? Is it Inafune or Shu Takumi that was involved in Apollo Justice, even though
like they put like executive producer or like assistant or whatever on stuff all the time.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this Keiji Inafune being involved is just a name drop because they don't realize that a very large segment of the internet strongly dislikes Keiji Inafune right now. Because, I mean, 10 years ago, 10 years ago, Inafune's name was like gold. Everyone loved Inafune, and it's just gone a complete 180 in, over the past few years. So it might be they weren't in touch with the fact that, like, maybe you shouldn't be putting Inafune's name on it. So I don't know. I don't know if I can't say I'm terribly interested in this game either way, but I wouldn't let Microsoft sticking his name on this as a selling point. I wouldn't let that turn you off too much.
I do need to look into it more. I will say that, but at the moment it does put a damper on my interests. I will say that much. And it's even if I agree with you, Catherine. Even if I can cognitively and logically accept that, yes, maybe just because his name on it doesn't mean that he's going to be directly involved in every little thing. That still doesn't erase the gut emotional reaction of, ugh, I don't trust him. It's hard to shake that kind of thought out, no matter how logically you try to examine the situation, unfortunately. So, well...
Logic. Touch his forehead.
After ReCore, they had the Final Fantasy 15 Shadow of the Colossus edition.
Shocking. I wasn't expecting any sort of Final Fantasy presence in Microsoft's conference.
They must have paid
Well,
a crap ton of money.
yeah, I was going to say they probably paid a decent amount of money to get them to show that, because kind of like the whole Killer Instinct, because we don't have Street Fighter thing, it's like, you guys have to realize that anyone who's interested in 15 probably has a PlayStation.
Yeah.
I was surprised. This is more of a general comment on the whole, but I thought that since Microsoft got 15, Sony would get 7 Part 1. And 7 didn't show up at all, from what I can tell. So
No, it didn't.
Which surprised me a lot, but Final Fantasy 15 still looks like a solid game overall. It's weird. I feel like I should be more excited for this than I am, which is weird, because I'm definitely intrigued by 15. Like, I like the character designs. The music from the fight was good. The combat looks interesting. It's just, I don't know what's keeping me from going on to full-on hype mode.
You know, I think it's because of the content they showed off in this conference that can make people skeptical, because I don't know what the fucking point of that fight was supposed to be besides getting smacked by Titan repeatedly.
Dude,
like, I don't
I was gonna say,
I don't know if that guy was doing that intentionally to show off a feature, because, you know, if those that played the 15 demo, anyway, when you take life-threatening injuries, that's when you can summon. You can summon Ramu and do some awesome fucking shit. I'm thinking, okay, this guy's taking way too many shots from Titan to be, you know, to be playing this battle normally, and it's like he's probably just going to show off another summon. Nothing ever comes from it, and I was like, oh, you're just doing a horrible job playing the game, I guess.
I think he was trying to climb on it full launch out of the Colossus style, but he kept on fucking up. I think might have been what was going on.
At the very least, practice,
At the-
buddy. That's what you gotta do.
At least it was a live demo, because you know Ubisoft was the worst about CG only trailers for the
And
entire.
I enjoyed the scope of the fight. Like I was taken aback when I realized the thing he was fighting was Titan, and I was like, "Holy shit, Titan is huge in this game."
Yeah, well, Titan's based off of the Greek myth where the guy literally holds the world on his shoulders, and like he had a giant thing on his back like that. So
And he can't even beat 4 Backstreet Boys.
it's gonna be me. No, wait, that's insane.
my God.
Shit.
They
Get
all
your
sounded
boy
like-
bands together.
I feel like maybe I feel kind of weird because I just don't I don't care that much about 15. I think my interest when I look at Final Fantasy, my interest is definitely more towards what I think Lewis once called like the high fantasy, things like 14, where it's like it's very clearly like a fantastical world. In that sort of traditional sense of it. And I look at 15 and I see like, okay, like, yeah, these cute pretty boys and they're like driving in their car and like I don't know what they're doing. I don't like maybe I haven't followed as much about what the story is, but I just
They've done story bits here and there.
Yeah, I just look at it and I don't feel any attachment in the same way like I look at something like Bravely Default. I haven't played Bravely Default yet, but just the world, what I've seen of Bravely Default, I'm like, yeah, I want to play that. But
You'd be more akin to Final Fantasy IX rather than Final Fantasy VII. Because 15...
I like 7. I would say, Johnny, I would draw the distinction between 8 and 7. I mean, 8 and 9.
8 and 9, probably.
Like,
Yeah.
8 is very real world.
7 is when they started incorporated sci-fi with fantasy, and I think it was a good blend. 8 was definitely more on the sci-fi, rather than just fantastical settings. To me, I think it can work. I think it will work because I agree that I enjoy when my Final Fantasies are a little more on the fantastical side. I love 9's world, I love 9's settings, but I also like 7's worlds too. But to me, in 15's case, I think it would just make the more fantastical settings stick out more and make them more memorable. Because again, I was at awe seeing Titan on the screen.
Yeah.
You forget now that, yeah, they drive cars. But they
Riding on cars.
They also ride giant birds, and there's
Chocobos.
Imperial stormtroopers and all that sort of thing. And I was like, this big ass thing in front of me is here right now. I don't give a shit that my car's out of gas. I gotta take care of this thing right now.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to knock the game or anything. Like, I'm just saying, it just kind of surprises me when I think to my own opinion and realize, like, I'm just not that excited for it. It doesn't feel like what I personally would like out of a Final Fantasy. I look at 14 even, like, I'm not the kind of person who wants to invest into an MMO, but I look at 14, I'm like, that's a beautiful world. I like that's what I like in a Final Fantasy. And that's just my personal taste, but
Yeah, the only skepticism keeping me from enjoying Final Fantasy 15 fully is that 13 sucked, Lightning Return sucked. There were a lot of Final Fantasy games that sucked in the past 5-10 years. This might suck too.
Jamie,
So,
what about
we'll see.
13-2? Did that suck too?
I thought that was better than the other two. I thought 13-2 was okay. I thought it was goodish.
They have to... The fact that 14's an MMO, which is not enough to wipe away the 13 stigma, because not every Final Fantasy fan is going to play an MMO. Like, I could defend 14 up to high noon. I've gotten nearly 400 hours at this point in the game, and I love it to death. But I also realize people...
I don't play
Fantasy
MMOs.
fans don't want to play an MMO, and that's cool. So, so as far as they're aware, 15 has to worry about the 13 stink.
I'm surprised that they let 13 go on as long as it did, because I know that the game is more popular. The game in the whole 13 saga, for lack of a better word, I know it's more popular in Japan than it is in the rest of the world. But is it really that popular in Japan to the point where they can keep on pushing something that's clearly not received well everywhere else?
There's a difference between pushing something because of demand and pushing something because they're shoving it down your throat, which I think is the case in Japan with 13, because I forgot who the director is for 13. I want to say
Toriyama.
Toriyama loves lightning, and like he's not even fucking subtle about
No,
it.
I think I have the wrong name, but
Matt has. Yeah, it's usually Matt that reminds me.
Yes.
But he's not even subtle with his love of lightning. Like, I'm sure the guy has probably 6 body pillows.
She is a perfect flower.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh god.
Doesn't she sell perfume?
Well, I'm sorry, but we need to nip this at the bud and just.
She's the new spokeswoman for Louis Vuitton.
Why?
Waifu for waifu. Honestly, Lightning's a pretty trash waifu. She's just mean to everybody. But anyway,
That's why I like her. That's why I like her.
Vanille did nothing wrong.
Well, I'm setting some propaganda here.
Okay, let's move on. Cortana's coming to Xbox One. Okay, that's okay. People have series,
whatever.
So yeah, Minecraft.
I wrote that in the list because they mentioned all the updates that were going to be happening to the Xbox One, and they said like you'd be able to you'll be able to have Cortana talk to you and do the menus and stuff for you. And I was like, oh, good.
I remember people cheered for that. Like, okay, that's cool, I guess.
I'm pretty sure that the conference audience was littered with Microsoft employees that are told to clap at this and clap at that and really hype this up.
Put on your own playlist while you play your game. Oh, you mean like what we can do on our computers for ages now?
Well, no, it's like they used to have that with Xbox 360 custom tracks.
Or you could just put on your iPod and.
Yeah, you can do that too, but one of the things that I really liked about the 360 is that you can do custom tracks where you can, no shit, like replace some background music in game with your own music, and you can do that.
That's pretty
sweet. For wrestling games, I always imported my own theme song, so like
a new
it would
venture,
actually play my theme song.
Oh no!
But it has been conspicuously absent for a time, and they brought it back, and that's pretty cool. Minecraft.
With the creators of Minecraft, Sans Nachi's he's busy still counting his money.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can mod Minecraft on your console now. That's cool, I guess. And I think you can cross-play between Xbox and Windows, I believe, and mobile, I think, as well. So like that's all nice, but Minecraft is still Minecraft, and it's been Minecraft for like 8 years. So
I think someone shared on Twitter that the iPad the girl was using wasn't even on during that stage presentation.
Oh no! Really?
I mean, granted, we all kind of figure some of these things are staged. Like every time they cut to a guy with the controller playing what's on the screen, I never buy it. They're actually playing the game right.
They're probably like fake playing, and they have someone backstage playing. I would.
Well,
guess.
No, or they're just showing a video.
Yeah.
I was about to say we'll get to the obviously fake banter at Ubisoft.
Oh, yes, we will.
Yeah, let's save that for that. But
yeah. But I agree. It's Minecraft.
I'm surprised because Minecraft should not be hard to demo. It's goddamn Minecraft. So
I mean, I guess the selling point was that this time there's VR, so now it's in first person for people.
Boy, that's really going to show off the technology of the VR
you see
the
what
block
though,
game.
We don't care about this, but kids are going to eat this shit up.
But what parent can afford a $400 pair of easily breakable goggles for their 5-year-old?
Parents who love their kids.
Parents who love their kids.
Parents who love their kids, or parents who want their kids to shut up for a moment so that mommy and daddy can have some peace.
Hell yes. Fucking real. If I was like an annoying 8-year-old and I wouldn't shut up about this or that, about having this or that, you're goddamn right. My parents would put aside whatever they're doing for the time being just to get me to shut the fuck up. So yeah, they're going to do that. These kids are going to get their VR headsets, and they're going to enjoy their Minecraft in the first person, because that's where they're selling it to.
The thing about VR that what gets me not to care is it's not showing me anything different. It's not like it's just a pair of.
It's not really even virtual reality. It's just a headset.
It's a pair of goggles, meaning that it's basically, to me, the same as holding the thing really up close to my face. And I've never had a problem becoming immersed in a video game experience. It happens to me all the time. I forget that I'm holding a controller and looking at a screen all the time when I'm playing video games. So I've personally just never seen the point of VR, especially when the headsets just look stupid as fuck when you're wearing them. And PlayStation VR is going to be $400. I could buy a PlayStation 4 with that money. So no thanks. That's all. I'm going to end my VR rant there because yeah.
The only thing I thought was of note was that, like, Minecraft's also on PlayStation and it's also on Nintendo. It's
on everything at this point.
Yeah. Why you don't need to show it off at Microsoft because, like, you can get it on the other consoles. So it's like,
well, Microsoft does own Minecraft, though.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. But what did they have after Minecraft? Oh, Brave New World, the game, aka We Happy Few, and yeah, that was fucked up. That was
not sure what to think about this, honestly.
Yeah.
It's very Bioshocky.
Yes, that's exactly what I thought, Clement. And I haven't even played Bioshock, but like Bioshock Infinite, but it definitely, from what I know about it, I was like, yeah, that seems similar.
I mean, granted, some of the stuff they were trying did work, like when they hit the pinata and it was a dead animal. Like that definitely hit the mark that it was trying to. But at the same time, for one, it did kind of come across as a little bit pretentious. Like, oh, you're a downer, everybody's clowns, you're taking the drugs to make you happy because fight the establishment, blah blah blah. A lot of the themes didn't seem very original to me, but I'm sure that I don't want to give it too much of a knock without really playing the game itself, because this is obviously a game you play for the story. From what we can tell from the trailer, at the very least. But
how much of it is a political message compared to how much of it is a psychological thriller is really what I'm trying to gauge here, because I wasn't clear enough from the trailer. I got to see more of this game in action.
I wouldn't have a problem with it being a political message if it wasn't a political message I heard from every other game like this, I guess. Because, oh, the government's controlling you. Oh, everybody's tricked into thinking they're happy. Oh, you really have to, all that kind of...
Technology bad, nature good.
We'll get to that game.
Pinatas.
Yeah, it's all shit I've seen before. That's really the thing. Like, I'd be down with this kind of thing if the stuff that they were trying to talk about was interesting to me. But I've seen that kind of stuff before. Why should I play this over something like Bioshock, for instance, which has been on my to-do list for like 8 years? So,
do it, man. Infinite's a great game.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the first Bioshock. I haven't played that either.
Also a really great game.
Yeah, so, yeah, that's all I really have to say about that.
So after that, they showed a children's COD game.
AKA their response to Hearthstone.
Everybody has a goddamn Hearthstone now. It's hilarious.
Why?
I don't get the appeal personally,
just get a deck of cards and play a card game.
Well, hold on. Do any of us here play The Witcher? Because
my brother just bought the game 2 weeks ago. My brother, Mark. I was like, holy shit, you are bored. But he's loving the game. And
I've heard great things about Witcher 3.
He responded to the trailer. It was like, that's Gwent. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I was like, that's a card game you play in Witcher. And I was like, card game? And then they just show a trailer for it. I was like, oh.
Children's COD game.
Yeah, I've beaten Witcher 3, so I have experience with one game. I haven't played the first two, but Gwent is in Witcher 3. Like, it's literally a side thing you can do, as if it was Final Fantasy VIII and you're playing Triple Triad or whatever.
Why isn't that a real-life game at this point?
Triple Triad?
Yeah.
Because it's awful.
I think it sell.
I think it is. I think Triple Trial does have a mobile version, though.
I want physical cards, if only because I actually buy it, never actually play it. It be my generation's Pokemon. You buy the cards, you don't actually use them. Whatever.
You disgust
But
me.
I
We don't play Queen's rules.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a thing. I don't play Witcher, so this just.
I was talking
came
about
to
Triple
mind.
Triad.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I vaguely remember that from trying.
Like at some
to play
point
Triple
during
Triad.
the quest, they changed the whole they changed the whole setup for all the card games in everywhere. So like, there's this weird rule modifier. So like, there's this randomized element to it, and it's like, it was better the way it was. Why? But you know, I don't know why I'm talking Final Fantasy again.
Okay, now the cards are actually going to be on fire.
Oh no.
So if that's all we
Play
have
your
to say
card.
about that, does anybody remember what this Inside game was? Because I don't.
It's from oh crap, what was the first game they made?
Limbo.
Yeah,
Oh.
Limbo, and then they showed 2 seconds of nothing.
Oh, is that the one with the evil robots because technology is evil?
no,
maybe?
that's just that's the two guys, the two silhouette guys in the dark office room, and then it ends.
Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay.
That is not how you sell a game.
I have nothing to say because there was nothing.
Yep.
So
Yep.
Okay.
that's all I got to say about
Um,
that. Ted, that game you're talking about where technology is... Are you sure you're not thinking about Fee or Faye?
There was one.
Because
I
I
don't.
totally-
A lot of these indie.
It wasn't. I know it wasn't Fee. It was a different one.
Oh, I definitely... I mean, I'm sorry to go back to Faye, but I totally got that with those robots.
well,
Like,
I'm not saying Fee doesn't do it, but I just remember the
Yeah.
whole really hammering it in your face in another one.
I forget all of these indie games kind of blend together for me. I'm not gonna lie. But there was one where there was very clearly like these evil robots, and then they were standing there as in technology is bad, and you're playing this game on a goddamn $400 piece of technology. So don't pull that.
Ted, that was Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Sonic. Okay, never mind. I'm not getting into a goddamn Sonic lore argument right now. Of Halo Wars 2.
So Halo Wars 2.
Yeah, good luck, sir. Good. I was just gonna say, good luck trying to sell an RTS on a console.
You want to know? My only thought about Halo Wars 2 is when the hell are we getting Age of Empires 4? That's my answer. So yeah.
You don't play RTSs on a console, Microsoft.
No, you can play it on a console and on a PC, and you can crossplay to the guy on the console. So those poor console fucks are never going to beat the guys on the PC.
I'm not a strategy guy, so it didn't interest me.
Same here. Got nothing to say about this because I didn't play the first one. And yeah, but I also agree with the sentiment that you do not play these kind of games on a console. They're built for PCs. And was it Windows 10 compatible? Did it say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, they just played it on the PC.
Oh, apparently somebody did ask Bill Gates about Age of Empires 4, and they said, he says he'll look into this. So
Who are you? Get out of my house.
Why am I here?
I want a new Age of Empires game. That was like when I was a kid, the one video game my dad would play with me is Age of Empires. So I have a really strong connection to that. And I just, the first Halo Wars was made by the people who made Age of Empires. So I want a new Age of Empires game. Please. Thank you. That's all I want. Yeah.
Shall we move from Halo Wars to Wars on the High Seas?
Yar har fiddly.
The first interesting thing to come out of Rare in about, 10 years. Yeah.
Viva Pinata, shut your mouth.
Viva Pinata
Who cares about Viva Pinata?
Yeah.
What did you say, Ryan?
Who cares about Viva Pinata?
I care immensely.
They're all dead rats anyway.
No.
Uh,
Shout out to Viva
Yeah, I am not convinced by this game. I don't like what I see. It just doesn't look that interesting.
I think there will be a certain type of person who will get really into it, because it seems to be like a pirate simulator in the sense you don't just get on the boat and go. You need to have people manning the sails, you need to have people at the cannons. I think to play this game effectively, you would need a group of 15 very committed people just to pilot one ship. And if you could find that kind of group, I think this game would be awesome to play. But It's also not the kind of game. I don't think it's super accessible. I think is the big issue.
Yar har fiddly dee.
Was that another stage demo?
No, that was a pre-recorded demo.
Oh, okay.
It was like pre-recorded by people they got to play the game a couple weeks back, I believe is how they explained it.
Who were really into the game.
Yeah.
So Ted's the captain of our ship. Let's all mutiny. Off the boat with you.
I cringe every time developers just try to have their finger on the pulse of YouTube Let's Plays and all that sort of thing because they always overplay it and it just, Jesus. And it's like, I start questioning myself. It's like, is this what I sound like? No, I know I don't sound like this.
Am I out of touch?
No. No, it's the companies that are wrong.
Now, John, you need to scream more and do more Five Nights at Freddy's LPs, and that's when you'll hit it big on YouTube. Okay?
With face cam.
With
Need
face
more
cam.
face cam.
More face cam.
With face cam and random jump cuts.
Yeah.
No, bro, don't drive the pirate ship away. Where are you going? Whoa!
Remember, people, don't sail while drunk. Okay.
You are a pirate.
I'm interested in it because it looks like the first thing Rare has wanted to develop in years because they've been stuck doing Kinect sports forever. So that's what has me really interested. I mean, I know that the people who made Rare are working on Ukulele now, and I'm sure we'll talk about that a little bit later. But
The game people actually care about.
I'm interested by this. I don't know if I'll play it, but I do want to see where it goes. Just me?
don't.
Just me? Okay.
Yep.
So that ship has sailed, so let's
Ah!
switch to Tekken 7.
Oh, man.
Featuring more Heihachi. Dude,
I thought this was Tekken Cross Street Fighter for
Oh,
a second.
I did too.
That game, dude, that game's been dead for years.
I know, but it's like, it's so weird how
The first thing they show is Akuma.
Heihachi fighting Akuma, and it was like, oh, Tekken Cross Street Fighter.
Yeah, if they didn't already announce that Akuma was going to be in Tekken 7, because that wasn't, like, first-time news. Like, we heard about that a few months ago. So, I saw Akuma and Heihachi, and I was like, oh, it must be Tekken 7. If they hadn't announced Akuma early, that would have been kind of crazy, but, yeah.
Tekken, I really like Tekken. Last year when we went to Momocon and we played Tekken Tag together,
You played your first real fighting game.
Yeah. And so I bought Tekken Tag 2 for Wii U, and I played that for a good bit before. Unfortunately, it's hard to play a fighting game on your own because if you don't have a lot of people to play with, it's easy to drop it. And I think Tekken's online mode is dead, or the only people playing would be so good at the game I wouldn't stand a chance. But Tekken 7 is a game I've really been interested in because I want to get into it, I think. And Catherine, you and me played Tekken some occasionally.
yeah, I have Tekken 5, and so the intro to Tekken 7, or that, I don't know if it was necessarily the intro, but that cutscene with Akuma and Heihachi fighting just reminded me of the intro to Tekken 5, where it's Kazuya.
Heihachi Mishima is dead.
Yes! And
No,
then,
he's not.
And then random pop song. And what's her face rescuing the cat? I was like,
Oh, yeah, Asuka.
yes, Asuka. Yes.
That thing's adorable because the cat's like hanging off this wire and he's about to fall to his death, and then she just bikes in, catches it, and then it purrs in her hand after she saved it.
Yeah. That game had.
And then we cut to a man killing another man.
He kills his mentor, and then we get the shootout between Nina and Anna. That game had an amazing intro.
Tekken's amazing in general.
Dude. One thing, so I played Tekken 5, and I really had no history with Tekken before then. And as someone coming in with Tekken 5, it was just like, there's so much backstory. It's like a lot of these fighting games.
You don't need to worry about any of it.
Well,
It's a fighting game. Just pick a character and go.
Well, no,
Yeah, but
Tekken
I
is so
like to
ridiculous
know
that
that.
I want to know why Alyssa can take her head off and kick it at people.
well, you're not going to get an answer to that, but I want to know, why does Jin turn into a devil? What's the relationship of the Mishimas? Why, who is it, that sumo guy who's in love with Julia? Like,
Will Kuma and Panda ever get together? This is important shit.
yes, indeed. But so I was kind of interested and glad to hear that they're putting a story mode into Tekken 7 because I don't have any experience with Mortal Kombat, but I really liked from what I've seen from the SGB playthroughs of the story mode in Mortal Kombat 9 and Mortal Kombat X. Because I feel like it makes it easier to follow like what's going on in the lore of the game. Because if you wanted to find out anything that happened to individual characters in Tekken 5, you had to beat their story mode, and the ending's non-canon anyways. So, yeah.
But they are fantastic.
Dude, my favorite is Asuka's ending where her cousin falls into her breasts, and then she just punches him across the wasteland.
One of my favorite endings from Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was Lili's ending because she like sets a bunch of gangsters on Asuka just so that she could fight her, like being Sun and all that, and it was great. And also I love that she talks French at her and Asuka talks Japanese back, and they can both understand the conversation. It's amazing.
Oh, that happens all the time in Tekken. It's amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I love Heihachi's Tekken 5 ending because he takes Jinpachi, Jin, and Kazuya, ties them to a rocket, and then watches them blast off to outer space. And then he just laughs like, ha 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 ha.
Heihachi is crazy.
He's awesome.
Everyone is crazy in Tekken.
But I think we're talking way too much about Tekken.
Sorry, yeah. I'm excited for Tekken 7.
It's a Tekken game.
Yeah, I'm stoked. And I forget who it was, but he came out in like the robe thing. That was pretty awesome. So
Oh, Harada.
That was cool.
Harada's not here yet. Where is he? He's still in his hotel room. Well, get him down here. He's not dressed. Put him in the bathroom.
It doesn't matter.
That's why he was wearing sunglasses, because he was on an all-night binge last night. He didn't want to look bloodshot.
Next they had Dead Rising 4. Dead Rising is my favorite series I've never played. I think is the best way to describe it. Just the premise.
I've covered wars, you know.
Like, okay, you take a lawnmower and you're literally mowing down zombies. Like, that just sounds like this is the one zombie game I've been interested in for years, and I've just never gotten a chance to play it. So that was fun to see.
Dead Rising's great, but this is the part of the conference that really ticked me off, and it especially happened with Dead Rising 4. Okay, so they have the conference camera showing the audience, showing like, the Titantrons and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then they cut to the gameplay footage when it's the trailers and stuff, right? Except with Xbox, and this happened with a whole bunch of games. This happened with ReCore, this happened with Sea of Thieves, and it happened again with Dead Rising 4, to the point where, like, I couldn't even see what was happening on the Titantron, and I couldn't even tell what was happening in the game. But they cut to the audience, and we're just seeing, like, people's heads and darkness and the Titantron so far away. And I'm like, what the hell, conference? You just announced a game. You're showing the trailer. Cut to the trailer. Show the footage. It's ridiculous.
They're finally making an E3 conference game. Yes. Where we watch other people watch E3 conferences.
E3 Simulator.
Yeah. 2017.
Does it come with people bitching at you about not liking this or that conference or having to decide who won?
Oh, all that and then some, baby.
I agree completely though. I forgot about that, but yeah, that was one of my big pet peeves.
I had to watch Dead Rising 4's trailer on a separate channel like afterwards because I couldn't even see most of it. Like there's this great gag with Frank West that like it was so pulled back during the conference you didn't get to see. But like he does this thing where like he sits in his chair and he's like really dead faced this entire time. Like he's just like no smile, no nothing. And he gets in his chair, he pulls out his cell phone, and then just the biggest smile Frank's ever had in any game ever, takes a picture, and then when the picture's done, he goes back to like his stone face. It was hilarious. But I love Dead Rising 1 and 2. I never played 3 because I don't own an Xbox One. I think this is supposed to be exclusive for a year, and then it might be coming to PlayStation. That's what I've heard anyway.
A year? I think it would probably be less than that. But
I didn't recall hearing anything about exclusivity on one system and the other, because I think if Dead Rising 3 was Xbox One exclusive, then they'd probably just make the same thing for this game. But I'm pretty much on the same boat as Ted. Dead Rising is a series I love to follow, but haven't really played a whole lot of. I played the first game. I didn't really even get very far in that one, and that's about it. But every time I see Frank or whatever character you're in control of, just being so goddamn creative with how you can mow down zombies or just complete the game, I'm laughing because I know that's the whole appeal of the game, and I'm happy to see another game get created for that. So
Yeah, that was great to see.
I also like that it's Christmas themed. I don't know why.
Oh yeah, at first I thought, oh god, another trailer that they're gonna start with ironic Christmas music, and then I realized no, it's Dead Rising, it's unironic Christmas music, and then I got happy. So
No, it's ironically unironic.
Okay.
And next up is Platinum Games Scalebound.
Okay, I noticed a lot of people on Twitter didn't seem all that...
Talking about Platinum Games, please don't ban us.
A lot of people on Twitter seem to be very unimpressed by Scalebound, and it looked fine to me. Like, not the best thing I've ever seen, but it looked good. So, can anybody explain to me what about Scalebound didn't look good? Because I sincerely just don't get it at the moment.
I couldn't tell you, honestly.
I couldn't tell you either. I think it's probably just more kind of character type fatigue. Because we've had Dante for the longest time, and then Platinum made Bayonetta kind of as their Dante for that kind of style of game, and then you're kind of doing another high-octane action game with another I'm too cool for school main protagonist, so it's kind of like, okay.
I definitely got Dante out of this kid. Like, Dante with headphones. And I don't know, it's like, I just really don't look for character quality when it comes to these sort of high-octane in-your-face action games. I just want to slay the shit out of whatever's in front of me. And in that regard, I think Scalebound looks okay. I will probably not get it day one, despite developers, but I don't know.
Smack the giant, fuck me light.
It looks harmless, so whatever.
Okay.
So here we have this giant enemy crab.
It's the fact that you can control a dragon immediately made me think of Panzer Dragoon.
The dragon stuff looked badass, I will say. That was, like, being able to fly on the dragon and have dragon pets. That was the interesting thing to me, because that looked fun. Yeah,
okay, then.
Dragons.
Scalebound. Think about it.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that the general theme of Microsoft's conference was that the games look good, but maybe not our tastes, I think.
Or a bit safe in general, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair to say.
There wasn't really anything that we weren't expecting, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
More or less, yeah. And even the stuff we didn't know, like, say, Dead Rising 4, it's stuff we've seen before.
Yeah.
You're not going to blow anybody's mind by saying, "Oh, we're making a new Dead Rising game." It's a cool surprise, but it's not completely out of left field, I guess.
Because without jumping ahead too much, I'll just allude to that at the other really big conference, Sony, there were a couple games that were just out of left field. Like, I don't think anyone knew that those were projects, until we saw them then.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
So did anybody understand what the hell?
I have no fucking idea.
Teraflops. Oh yeah, the Project Scorpio is a great. I totally get this, guys. Project Scorpio is a great gaming machine because it has horsepower. Okay, you see, and it also has RAM. And this RAM allows you to make really great pixels, like the best pixels you've ever seen on a TV. Like, awesome.
Donald
pixel.
Trump, what are you doing here?
And the resolution will be...
I will build the greatest pixels you've ever seen.
And I'll make Sony pay for it.
But no, it's like you're talking about all this tech stuff, but it's like, okay, is it a new, like, system past your Xbox 1.5? Is it your headset?
I still don't understand.
Is it like some third thing in general? It's like, I don't know what the fuck it is.
It to me, what it seemed like, if the 1S is a Xbone 1.5, this seemed like a 1.75, which seemed really kind of strange, because they said all Xbox One games will be playable on all three devices, so...
Again, then what's the point?
What is it?
Unless if it is the Xbox 2 or whatever, the next generation of Xbox consoles, that just doesn't seem like it's going to happen because the Xbox One is nowhere near dying out. Like,
No.
that thing's got years and years ahead of it. So, yeah, it was. All I know is that teraflop is a real word, and it should not be a real word because teraflop is the stupidest word I've ever heard in my life. So,
No. I don't want to hear that. They made that word up on the spot right there, and then immediately bribed Google Dictionary to say, okay, there's a new word we got here. It's teraflop. Don't question it. Give him the check.
I bet the Project Scorpio will be a teraflop. Laugh, guys.
Bum, bum, ba-da.
Wow, that fell almost as flat as Ubisoft's dance routine.
Great transition.
Oh God.
Thank you.
At the very least, they got their annual Just Dance that no one cares about out of the way.
Oh my gosh, why did they have to ruin Don't Stop Me Now? That's a pretty decent Queen song.
Not to mention that Just Dance, whatever it is the first third-party game to be officially confirmed for the NX.
Announced for the NX.
Yeah, because I believe Dragon Quest XI was announced for the NX, but then
Sort of.
But then Square was like, no, it might go to the NX. We're not sure because I think someone at Nintendo said, shh, we don't want you talking about that yet. So, yeah. First off, drafts and Candy Cane Girls. Okay, I love your document, Jamie. Also, I loved the Mood Whiplash where they have their stupid Just Dance, thing, and then they acknowledge the.
And Aisha's like, the best part was Aisha was like, all right, everyone, let's all gather around, let's all, let me put my hand on this poor girl who's probably being paid $10 an hour to do this, and let me just say that this really sucks, guys.
It was the timing of it was very odd.
Like, Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo also did that. EA didn't for some reason. But it felt...
Well, because they're heartless bigots.
Yeah, but it felt sincere at the rest of the conferences, but not at Ubisoft. So, yeah, it just kind of felt out of left field at Ubisoft for me.
I mean, the thought's appreciated. It's the timing was off.
Don't do it right after the dance routine while you still have it to rap on stage, and then immediately after Aisha Tyler finished, saying her sentiments, which I don't doubt that, I'm sure she's a human being. She must feel bad for this. But then she makes a joke about the trap, and it's like, no.
No, it's like Ubisoft does not know the definition of the word tone.
Nope.
Yeah.
I would have just started off with Orlando message and then transition to darkness and then Queen starts up.
Yeah, it's like let's lift the spirits up, then start the dance number.
Personally, I would have started with a different game. I don't know. Actually, the only game I think that they could have shown after that kind of message was the skiing game, which is, we'll talk about that, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But before that, we have Ghost Recon Wildlands. Is that Bolivia game?
That was the first one to use the
Really, really forced banter.
Yes! Nathan was in...
No one talks that way.
Yeah, Nathan was in a Skype chat with a few of us during that, and he's just like, because our friend Nathan, he's been in the military, and he's like, people don't talk like this. He's like, no one outside of the military uses some of these terms. And first of all, it was just really bad. I've been spotted. Nobody has seen the guy yet. He's like, I've been spotted.
First off,
so
if you say I've been spotted, the people are probably going to be like, oh, god damn it, James, or whatever.
Yeah, seriously. That's what I'm saying. I was
motherfucker.
like, dude, what did you fucking do? There were no racial slurs. There was no profanity.
Stick to the plan, Leroy.
They've been doing this goddamn thing for this goddamn trick. This goddamn.
Yeah, but it's never been this bad.
It was pretty
so
bad
bad.
last. It was just as bad last year, dude. It's still terrible now.
I remember the most we ever talked about because I remember if it was the other Tom Clancy game,
Rainbow
The Division
Six.
recently.
Yeah.
I
Whatever
remember
it was,
that.
the one with with the diseased dollar bills or something like that. I don't. Remember
Oh
what it
no,
was.
it's not,
The
But-
it's
Division.
not that one.
Yeah, that was the Division. I remember the most we said about the Division's quote gamer chat unquote was that they all sound bored out of their minds. These people, it's like holy shit, the cringe. Nobody coordinates this better. The only people that coordinated these people that played maybe 86,000 hours into the game. No first timers are ever talking to a game like this. Nobody talks like this. Period. It is so forced. It's like I'd rather have the people that Let's Played the Sea of Thieves game again. Get them back here because whoever did this is shit. And I don't play Tom Clancy games anyway, but like this ain't fucking convincing me.
I don't know who it fools, this is not the only game that they did that had this stupid trick. I'm sure they did it. No wait, was it the only? No, they did it for Watch Dogs, I think, as well. Did they? There was something else that had this stupid trick, and
I don't think there was any other game that had fake multiplayer.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I'm thinking. Games. Oh, right. I'm thinking of last year. They had like 2 or 3 different games that did it. So that's yeah.
My favorite was Rainbow Six when they got the hostage and then they lost the hostage.
Worst SWAT team ever.
Yeah, as far as the game goes, it's like, okay, another open world shooty McBang game from Ubisoft.
It didn't. Yeah, nothing about it looked particularly. Nothing about it said why I should be playing this instead of something else. To me, so.
I think its plot is kind of stupid. It's like, oh, we're this elite team going to take out the drug cartels in South America. It's like, you do realize as America we have kind of a bad history of intervening with South American governments.
Yeah.
They were also terrible at their stealth mission.
Oh. Yeah. oh yeah, and there was the guy who was driving a motorcycle over a goddamn railroad tracks and not falling on his face.
Yeah, not falling. Dude, no, before that, having a motorcycle conveniently there when the guy gets away. You know, the guy gets away and it was like, fuck, he's driving away. Oh, this conveniently placed motorbike will help me get to them. Well, ain't that fine? It's Quake and Bane. This game's stupid.
Okay, but anyway, after Tom Clancy was South Park, and I know I'm in the.
No, you have to say the full name: South Park: The Fractured Butthole.
Her. It's funny because butts. I'm not gonna lie. I was not impressed by South Park. I know that people really like Stick of Truth, so I'm not gonna try to shit on that game too much. But
or as we probably should have called it, South Park Battle Network.
Yeah, basically the humor, which is probably like 50% of the reason why you play a game like this. I am over South Park's humor. I have not found South Park entertaining for a long time. And
no, I would say it's 90% of the reason why you play Stick of Truth, and I like Stick of Truth, granted, because I enjoy South Park. I was all over the series, late 90s, early 2000s, petered off mid 2000s, and I've gotten back to it a little bit here and there, but I can see where you're getting at, Ted, and why.
Cartman has just become completely insufferable to the point where I just can't even watch or play anything regarding South Park because they shove him down your throat so much.
He's supposed to be the bad guy essentially, but he's the protagonist essentially. Is the big thing. Like if it were like, I mean, I'm not the hugest fan of Stan and Kyle either, but if the game were focused on them and Cartman was just being a dick someplace, then okay, it would be a little bit better. But the trailer that they showed was about 80% Cartman. So, and I hate Cartman. There's no fictional character I want to punch in the teeth more than Eric Cartman. So, yeah, I know the game probably will play just fine, and if you're a fan of that kind of humor, then go for it, I suppose, but not for me. I'm sorry.
That said, I'm not sure how I feel about the approach this time, where it is more tactical. I thought of Final Fantasy Tactics. Pretty much any grid-based tactical role-playing game.
It looked more like Battle Network to me, because it didn't look like Fire Emblem. For instance, where there's this big map and you're trying to position units, it looked more like Battle Network, where in each individual battle there will be an enemy position and your position will play a role, but as soon as you enter a new battle, that stuff will reset. That was the feeling I got more from the game.
I just hope, because Stick of Truth, I really enjoyed the writing, so I was able to forgive, for the most part, its very simplistic approach to RPGs. It was pretty much Paper Mario with a little less substance. And I understand that they want to flesh out the gameplay more this time, but are they doing the right approach here? And I'm hoping their means of extending gameplay is not just adding an unnecessary amount of superfluous steps between attacking an enemy, defending the enemy, and all that. Because most often than not, people are going to play this game for the plot and the writing, and not so much the game itself, despite what they want you to think. So, I'm hoping I'm gonna try it out because I did enjoy Stick of Truth.
Yeah, I enjoyed Stick of Truth too. Yeah, I'm just right there with you. I think having the grid-based battle system has got me a little bit iffy because I'm not really a big fan of those type of games usually. There's this one Xbox 360 game that was like that called Enchanted Arms that I really got into, gameplay-wise, not story-wise. Enchanted Arms is a problematic game. That's all I'll say. But if it plays something very simple and it's not like too complicated, if it's something for like newbies to get into, I might be able to enjoy it because I'm not much of a grid-based RPG guy. I couldn't really get into the Battle Network games either.
When are you Let's Playing Battle Network?
20XX.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's when I graduate from. That's when I finished graduate school.
That's when I become a millionaire.
But you know,
Can't wait.
I can get used to South Park's humor. I mean, there are some things about South Park's humor I don't always love, but Stick of Truth was a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to it.
And that's
Okay, then.
yeah. So,
Speaking of a complete and barren wasteland in terms of chatting, it's The Division.
oh my, do people care? The Division.
No.
I don't know, but it let us get Ubisoft Bingo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really frustrated with Ubisoft Bingo because we had an entire, the bottom left corner was almost completely filled. And,
Yeah.
we were always just missing one space. It was really frustrating.
Yeah,
but
we didn't find a randomized bingo card, so we were all, using the same bingo card for
Yeah.
this year.
but,
Oh, well.
yeah, apparently the Division has dropped 95% of its players or something to that effect. And I mean, drop off for an online focused game is inevitable. It always happens because people will find something else to play. But it was remarkably quick with the Division, and I'm surprised they're still trying to push it because the game, people don't care anymore. That's just all there is to it. So, woo, you get more things for your Division squad, whatever the hell you do in that game, I don't even know. You shoot things, I think.
You divide. You just do long division the whole time.
Oh, I hate long division. Ugh.
Yeah. So let's make the online base and drop it. So let's go to Eagle Flight.
Yeah, let's fly out of that one.
Bird Simulator.
Scross.
I don't
that-
remember this.
Did you step away
Really?
from
How
because
can you not?
the goddamn birds just kept on screeching? In the graphics for that VR game looked terrible. It looked like the game was literally unfinished. Because it was,
Well, it probably is, but
but yeah, it was.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing this. I might have been doing something else at the
also,
time.
I don't think Eagles have shooty guns.
You don't know that.
When's the last time you've seen an eagle up close?
Yeah, when's the last
Brian?
time? Don't you watch National Geographic? They all have that.
Anyways, no one's gonna play an eagle game.
No.
Well, no, it was also one of those where they're trying to talk about, oh, you have to find this rabbit and bring it back to your base, and you can attack each other. It's like, so it's capture the flag.
But with birds.
It's just birds.
It was the screeching for me. This is the only thing of note because
Yeah, that was a little bit obnousous.
Oh,
Because
I'm
every
used
time
to
you're
that.
shooting, just
When Elliot's part of your Let's Play group, you get used to that sort of thing.
but
Wow.
God damn.
I love you, Elliot. But birds.
All right.
Nothing to say.
Oh, okay. Then we've got Star Trek, the Star Trek VR game, where oh god, that was
Just take a look. It's in a book. Reading Star Trek. No, Jordy, come back. You're the best part about this conference.
I see Jordy, and I think the other guy next to him who's also in another Star Trek. I was like, that's not Jonathan Frakes. I was like,
That's
I was
not
just
Riker.
gonna say.
where's Riker? It's like, that's not Riker. He kind of looks like Riker, but it's not Riker.
I was going to say, Carl Urban is morphing into Jonathan Frakes.
I mean, it was a nice little cameo. I mean, if you're gonna have someone talk about VR, who better than Jordy? Guys had
He's been wearing the headset the entire show.
Yeah, he's been ahead of the curve. I get it. It's cool. It's smart, but
it's also super expensive.
Yes, it is. Again, this is another case of VR, and it's whether or not you're willing to shell out the money for it. And
you have to be hardcore Trekkies, and you have to have Trekkie friends who all want to be part of the USS Enterprise.
They're probably the only people that are going to buy this.
And I mean, it's kind of like it's a neat idea, but I just don't know how well it's going to be in actual practice.
Like, if there's one thing that you'd want to do with VR, it'd be the holodeck, wouldn't it? Not just flying around, I would guess. Like, have there even been any good Star Trek games? Because it seems like it's had kind of a rough history with video games, from what I can tell.
I have a Star Trek Next Generation Starfleet Academy game on the SNES. How does it play?
I'm sure there's been a few good Star Trek games,
but you can't name any off.
We just don't hear about them because I think only Trekkies discuss it.
Yeah.
Well, Trekkies are people too, John.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
Also, we might be getting the term wrong. It might be Trekkers. I've heard that too.
Oh God, can we not go into that, please? Like
Trekkies, Trekkers, whatever.
How about that Star Trek versus Star Wars nerd debate? Huh?
Has that even been a thing since like 1980?
No, it was never a thing.
Like, most people I know like both. So
you're not allowed to like both.
Why not both?
But John, I do like both. I like Star Trek and Star Wars.
Speaking of things we all like, though, next game, Pirate Man.
Oh, I was happy to see him.
Oh, that guy.
You know, For Honor looks generic, but I love Pirate Man.
I swear, the only...
That guy needs to do, like, an audiobook deal.
Yes, and I'd buy it. I'd buy all of them.
What's weird about that game is, I remember from last year, again, mostly because of Pirate Man, but all they seem to have changed, like, is textures and models, and now instead of just being like generic European medieval fighters, now it's like Vikings versus samurai.
There's also boring knights, but I mean, who wants to be the knights? Like, you either want to be the Vikings or the samurai. Let's get real.
There's also an absurdly confusing story to everything.
Yeah, like everybody's fighting, and then they're gonna stop fighting, but the witch wants them to keep fighting. Because...
And then the witch originally ended the world because she wanted them to fight, and how did they all get together? It's like, what?
It looks decent to play. Like, that's the one thing...
I mean, the game itself looks fine. Not fantastic, but fine.
The thing I think is interesting about For Honor is that there's very few games that get the feeling of a sword fight down. Like, a one-on-one sword fight. Like, there are plenty of good games with good sword play, but... there aren't an awful lot of things where dueling feels like a real duel, and you get that feeling from For Honor, which is cool, but I don't know how long that appeal will last, I think.
Yeah. As a resident otaku...
Gladiator.
Yeah, because that's a gladiator.
Are you not entertained?
I am kind of... I'm curious how this is going to work, because, like... traditional Japanese sword fighting is very different, I think, from Western sword fighting. And I feel like for a video game where you're putting these factions against each other, like, I think there's no... I'd be very surprised if they find a way to make it really true to how Japanese sword fighting works.
They're gonna play basically the same. The sword swipes will look kind of different, and the Japanese people will be slightly better at something than the barbarians and the knights. That's it. It's not going to be like a katana simulator.
I know, and that's kind of, I don't know, that's a little disappointing to me as, you know, someone who likes Japanese culture and stuff like that.
Speaking of Japanese culture, it also happens to be coming out the same day Persona 5 does in the US. Sorry, Pirate Man, I'm going to have to play that first.
Oh yeah, Persona 5 I think will probably end up outselling For Honor, which is not that surprising to me actually, considering that Persona's become a relatively big name. So yeah.
Thanks for the birthday gift, Atlas.
Well, I guess it's a good day to grow up, Ryan. And speaking of growing up,
I want this to keep going to see how forced it'll be by Nintendo.
I'm running out of breath here.
My Segway's being repaired, John. I'm riding a bicycle.
Didn't play the first game. No interest in this one.
Ditto.
I don't think I even heard of the first game.
Was this the one with the robots that were clearly the evil robots?
Yeah, the only thing I know about it is that there's a red robot and there's beanstalks, and that's it.
Is that your review?
That's my preview.
I don't remember much of the trailer, honestly. The other thing I remember, I think Clement saying that you got an excellent screen cap now.
Yes,
One of
yes.
The shots is like, it's time to grow up. So you can use that in internet rants.
Yeah. I need to save that to my reaction pics folder.
Although, speaking of things that are from our childhood that were telling us to grow up, what about all those 80s wrestling guys in the next game?
Oh, the Trial of the Blood Dragon? Yeah, I don't...
Trial of the Blood
I
Dragon.
will say that was one of the best trailers, because I love cheesy 90s trailers. And it seemed like a sincere... Like, it didn't seem like they were making fun of it. It seemed like they loved that kind of shit. So I liked that, but it just kind of seemed the game itself. I don't know. It's a video game, I guess. Nothing about it.
Trials is fun.
I never played it.
Trials Fusion is a pretty fun idea. It's one of those things that you'll play for like 15, 20 minutes while you're kind of just sitting around. But
it's basically like this game. In high school, we had this library filled with all these different computers, and everyone always played this one demo of this game called Elastomania, where you're just this guy on a motorcycle and it's 2D and you're supposed to collect all the apples and then you win the level. But like, you have to move left and right with the keyboard, and if his body touches the ground at all, then that's it. Like, you have to restart the whole thing all over again. But like, you go up to hills and then your body starts to shift, and you go down a hill and your body starts to shift. You go too fast down a hill, you'll tumble over, stuff like that.
It's kind of like Happy Wheels.
Yeah, it's a really addictive kind of game, and that's basically what Trials is, only not so cartoony like Elastomania was. And so, yeah, like these fun gimmicks, like it's based off of the 80s. And I like that they passed on the moniker, Blood Dragon to Trials, because Far Cry got a DLC called Far Cry Blood Dragon, which took it into a very 80s cheesy sci-fi direction, where they actually got Michael Biehn from Terminator and Aliens to be the main character, and you were fighting like dinosaurs and stuff. It was very 80s, and they had that song from Miami Connection, Friends for Eternity, Loyalty, Honesty, So, Blood Dragon for Far Cry was kind of fun, and I like that Ubisoft passed the Blood Dragon name to Trials, as if they could do like Rayman Blood Dragon or Watch Dogs Blood Dragon.
Ubisoft's never going to touch Rayman again, which makes me sad, but it's true.
Yeah.
Until they need to port Rayman 2, and then they'll be all over that. But we're not getting a new Rayman game anytime soon, which makes me a sad Ted. But it is how it is. It was definitely kind of a kick in the face, because at that point, the conference had already been going on for an hour and a half, and it dragged. Oh, God.
Yeah, Ubisoft needs to make their conference shorter.
It was the longest by far. It was over 2 hours. So, yeah. The next game on the list is Watch Dogs 2, and the only thing of interest from that game is that...
The fucking emoji
the
glass.
The emoji visor.
How the fuck do those work?
I don't know why. It just made me want to punch that guy in the face.
How does it know what emojis to put on at any given time?
That's not even it. I was like, motherfucker, you just can't afford to. You're so special that your eyes are too precious for sunlight or outdoor activities. You have this visor that does the job for you. Doesn't that feel like, and I just would punch in the fucking face.
I just
X's.
loved how stupid it was. Like, it was so
Yeah.
stupid.
It's stupid. Yeah, I know. It's all intentional. It's like,
Like, the tone has shifted a lot from the first game.
And it still looks stupid. Go magic button, go.
Yeah, the thing about Watch.
Also, why does everyone in Ubisoft games has a drone now?
Yeah, that's a little.
What's
The thing
going on at Ubisoft headquarters? Does everyone have drones?
The thing that frustrated me about Watch Dogs 2 was that, again, it was a very stereotypical, the government's evil. We're the underground resistance group that's badass.
And the obvious Donald Trump.
In the obvious Donald Trump bad guy. You know, I've said this for a while, but like I want a video game where essentially you play as the Empire or whatever, but the Empire isn't bad and the scrappy group of resistance fighters are the bad guys. I want to play that RPG really badly because I think that'd be
different.
That'd be fun. But Watch Dogs 2, I mean, it certainly has more personality than Watch Dogs 1, but I don't think it's fixed any of the problems because it does sort of seem like you've got a magic hacky button that lets you do computer shit, and it's
Also, you have your roly wheelie thing to hack your computers, which how the fuck does no one hear that on a wooden floor? But
because you hack their eardrums too.
also how the fuck, why are you in a firefight with your headphones on? Like, for the stealthy sneaky shit, sure, whatever, but when you're in a firefight you kind of want to know which direction the bullets are coming from, so take those off.
Hey man, you gotta look hip. You gotta look cool with the kids. It's cyberpunk.
If I'm gonna die in style, damn it.
John, you never had any style.
I know. What I need is an emoji visor. That's what I need.
But it's not
Which
the
for some
pre-order
reason,
bonus.
You know, as much as it's like, exactly. It's like I bitch about that thing earlier, but they go out of the way to talk about a pre-order bonus and like some memorabilia, and they don't make it the emoji visor. I was like, you just showed me like that thing so prominently in that trailer. It's like you guys didn't missed opportunity. Even I could see that.
Imagine when somebody inevitably cosplays that guy, how much money that thing is going to take to make. Like, Jesus Christ.
I'd be surprised
LEDs.
if it wouldn't be that much. Yeah, LEDs will get that job
Just
done
some
pretty
LEDs
easily.
have a thing with like five.
Yeah, but how would you
preset
see where you're
things.
going is also
You
the
don't.
problem.
you don't.
Yeah. Ted, you just put the visor on for photos.
Yeah, it's like, have you ever seen the inside of a stormtrooper helmet?
No.
You can't see shit.
Why do you think they don't hit anything?
Neither have the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Okay, so that... Oh, wait, I was going to say that was Ubisoft, but they also had the game that just really made me want to play SSX instead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's my SSX?
Yeah. EA, where's SSX? Yeah, that's all I have to say.
I have nothing to say about Steep. There's just nothing about this game.
Yep, it's,
No, I think
it's
I
skiing
left.
and snowboarding and stuff.
I mean, it's nice that people can die, but
Oh yeah, it's nice that you can land face first into a bell tower and get a massive concussion, but...
The only thing I liked about Steep was the Yeti costume. That you could have like a cute little hood.
Maybe I could pretend we're playing Ski Free.
Yeah, like that's what I was thinking. I was like, because me and Matt were talking about it on Twitter, and I was like, you know, this is not doing anything for me. And we're talking. He mentioned Ski Free, and I was like, you know, if a Yeti comes out of nowhere and eats me, then maybe. But it never happened, and instead we get this Yeti thing instead. And I was like, yeah, I guess close enough, but nah, you ski down a mountain. So I guess now we have ski simulators. I guess it was only a matter of time.
I mean,
not interested.
A skiing video game makes sense because not everybody lives in the right place and in the right place with the right climate, or even with enough money to go skiing on a regular basis. Because renting skis and lift passes and the right kind of clothes, that's all very expensive. So like my favorite winter sports game is SSX on Tour. Fantastic game. So I plug that in almost every winter. But it didn't seem to have the personality to kind of match the kind of tone that kind of game should have.
Yeah.
It seems very bland.
The SSX game I've played the most is SSX Tricky, which I think
Oh, you're
is even...
boring.
What
You're
the
boring.
crap?
You're,
Shut your face!
liking SSX Tricky the best is like liking Final Fantasy VII the best out of the Final
Dude,
Fantasies.
I didn't say
It's
I
boring.
liked it the best. I haven't played on tour.
You're boring, Catherine. You're
Get
boring.
wrecked.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, whatever.
Anyways, and like SSX Tricky it's not taking itself seriously. Like one of the courses is that someone hauled an iceberg to Hawaii and they built a snowboarding course on the iceberg, which is slowly melting, and you just like snowboard down the iceberg. So yeah, you like snowboard through a city. You snowboard through basically a giant pinball machine. Like it's super fun and super not taking itself seriously. And yeah, I want that if I'm playing a video game about snowboarding or skiing or whatever. So yeah, not interested in Steep.
And just remember, everyone, if you thought any of their games looked technically impressive, don't believe his lies.
Oh no, I for every E3 conference, I always do a CG only trailer count. And every time they say in-engine footage, I always add it to the list because I always say it's always bullshit. 100% of the time, if they say, unless if you can see people playing with the controllers, if they say it's in-engine footage, it's bullshit. Guarantee it. So, yeah, Ubisoft was easily the worst conference of the year for me. And usually that honor goes to EA, but for me, it was just that EA was half the length of Ubisoft. So, yeah.
I was looking at Twitter more often than watching Ubisoft.
Yeah.
I was more interested in people shitting on Ubisoft than actually watching the Ubisoft conference. That's how unimpressive it was for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, we've been going for
So, see you next year.
yeah. No, well, we're at the 2 hour mark exactly now. So
Yeah.
should we
Do we wanna
break
take a
and
small
then
break?
take a break and then do
Break.
Sony and Nintendo after the break?
Cool.
And miscellaneous, yeah.
Yeah, and
Squeenix.
and Squeenix. That goes under the extra stuff.
Okay.
Yep.
Break time.